Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bishop C-BRATCHER from Wash T. Smith Fellowship and Ministries. About to give you the things about blessings, having patience for blessings. Trusting the timing. God often causes wait because the blessing is larger than to prepare the recipient for. Now, when you look at that, right, God said, be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. That means it's putting your faith in, is waiting for God to come, to come and give you your blessing. You don't rush it. See, people often want to rush their blessings. See, when you get blessings from the devil, he presents it here and now. And that's not what God wants. So that's the difference. The devil, he'll give you what you want, and he'll put it in your face, and he'll give it to you right now. But at the same time, once the devil's done with you, that's it. That's why you see a lot of these entertainers, you see these rappers, they homeless because they took that instant gratification instead for waiting on God. When you wait on God, God puts it in front of you in steps, steps. You have steps before you get to your blessing. But see, the devil, he puts it right there. And when you take that blessing from the devil, you think it's a blessing, but it's not. It's sort of a curse. It's sort of you signing a bad contract, like, I got you now. Now you got to do what I want. You got to do what I say, or I'm going to take this blessing. I'm going to take everything from you. See, the enemy knows your weaknesses, so he's going to present it. He's going to present it the way he presented. And when you waiting on God's blessing, he puts steps in front of you to where, you waiting on that blessing, but you're waiting on it, but he's putting steps in for you to get it, because the blessing is going to be so big that you're not going to be able to understand it. A lot of the blessings that God give you, you don't understand. Sometimes God bless you without you even knowing it's a blessing. So we have still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Just wait. There's no need to rush it. You just got to wait patiently and wait for him to give you that blessing. Instead of taking that instant gratification from the devil that's going to give it to you here and now. And that's what a lot of people do. Like, they take it. They see whatever they blessed, whether it maybe be money. Because the devil know your weaknesses. So it maybe be money, maybe be women, maybe be power, whatever it may be. The devil's going to give it to you right here and now. But if you be patient and wait on God's blessing, it's going to be so big that you're not going to understand it. You know what I mean? It's going to be forthcoming. Like, it's going to be like, wow, I can't believe this. But you deserved it because you was patient for that blessing. A lot of people, they take that first blessing. They take the first thing the devil throws at you. And then when he throws it at you and you take it, you grab onto it. And it happened to me too. When the devil presents certain things to you, you think that, your head get big. So you get bigger than the blessing itself. So now you feel as though you don't need nobody. You don't need God. You don't need nobody. And that's where the devil gets you at, because then that's when he's going to take it from you, because now you're bigger than me. So that's what you got to watch out for, man. Be patient for the blessings, and waited for the promised son in the Hebrews. Joseph waited while in prison for his purpose to be revealed. Now I can go on there. I can go on there. Every time I got in trouble, I was impatient, and every time I got in trouble, I prayed to God while I was in prison. And I used to wonder, man, I want to get out. Why ain't I get out? But then the times that I went to prison and he got me right out, I went back to doing what I was doing. You know what I mean? Rather it was selling drugs, it was robbing, whatever I was doing to go get myself in prison, I would go right back out and do it like God just didn't blessed me with the promise of freedom, and and that was, that's when the devil takes a hold of you, because you feel as though you turn your back on God. God, I made all these promises to God. Like, I get out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do right, I'm gonna go to church every Sunday, whatever it may be, whatever you made that promise to God. And as soon as you go back to it, you go back from it, the devil comes in. The devil comes in, he kills, steals, and destroys. So whatever you try to build with God, he's going to destroy it. Whatever it is, whatever promise you made, the devil's going to present something for you in front of you so that you miss your opportunity to keep your promise to God. And that happened to me time and time after again. So my thing is, just have patience in your blessings. If someone blesses you with something, before you receive that blessing, you pray about it. Ask God about it. Ask God, is this for me? Because the devil will give you something and you think it's, a good gesture, and you don't even know it's coming from the devil. Because the devil works through people, he works through family, friends, whatever it may be. And you take that blessing, or you think it's a blessing, you take that thing from the devil, and you thinking it's, hey, man, wow, I did it. I got it. You need to pray to God for you to take anything from anybody, because you don't know what it is. You don't know if somebody tainted it with something before they gave it to you. You don't know. So that's why it's always good when someone give it to you, before someone puts it in your hand. It ain't got to be a long prayer. You can just talk to God. God, is this for me? That's what you got to do. Also, you just got to be patient for God's blessing. You're going to know God's blessing, because it's going to come in so many forms and so many, it's going to be unbelievable. And it's going to be so powerful that you're just going to be like, man, I want to take this blessing. This is God's blessing. I know it's God's blessing. I know it is. Thought it linger, for it will certainly come. It will come. It will come. Like I said, you got to have patience, and you got to have that faith. And that's where I always talk about faith, because even in my past life, I always had faith in God. I was just blessed that, my mom always kept me in some type of church and fellowship, to where I knew that I can double back and count on God for anything. You know what I mean? And I took advantage of that in a lot of situations, because God got me out of a lot of situations. And like I just said a moment ago, he got me out of situations, and I just went right back to doing what I was doing. Not thinking of the promises I made to God, not thinking about none of that. I just went back to doing what I was doing. Went to jail for a drug sale. He got me right out. Man, I went right back and got me some more drugs to sell. You know what I mean? And when I went to jail for 3 years that time, I still got out. Prayed to God, Lord, please get me out, get me out. And I got out early on a pre-release program. As soon as I got out, I got right back to doing what I was doing. So, it's that patience. You know what I mean? Having patience and having faith. Patience and faith, they run hand in hand together with each other. Because you got to have patience, and you also got to have faith. You got to have patience that it's going to happen. You got to have faith that God's going to come through. And sometimes God puts you in certain situations to where you have nothing but faith. You have nothing but to lean on God, so God can do what he need to do for your life, for you in general. So I just want to give you that on faith. Like, guys, women, men and women, God, always had that faith. Always had that faith. Because faith gets you through. Faith will get you through. The faith, and you see how it endures and lie and fallen soldiers. You know what I mean? Like, I consider myself a fallen soldier. Back in my past, I fell a lot of times, but now I'm a soldier of God. So now I understand. Well, I'm going to say I totally understand, but I'm starting to understand, the reality of waiting for God's blessing. Anybody can give you anything. You know what I mean? But who knows if it's a blessing or not? Who knows if it's a blessing from God? Somebody can give you $1 million. Is it a blessing? Is it a blessing from God? Or somebody just blessed you with it and think that you got blessed with it and come to find out it's more to come to this, it's more to come with this $1 million. And that's what you gotta ask yourself. That's what you gotta ask yourself. That's what you gotta ask yourself. Psalms 37:7, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. You gotta wait patiently for him. You gotta wait patiently for him. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta wait patiently. I mean, you think about it, why not? He waited patiently for you. He waited patiently for you to put him in his life, put him in your life. He waited patience for you to lean on him. He made patience for you to do anything. You know, God, he sacrificed so much. He gave his only forgotten son. And that's what I need y'all to think about. This is Bishop C-BRATCHER, and I'm out of here for now. God bless and good evening.